Georgia adds a five-star commitment at quarterback, this time Brock Vandergriff, who plays at Prince Avenue Christian in Athens. Matt DeBerry, Dean Legge. Matt, this guy certainly has an elite arm, has the body. There's a reason why he's a five-star kid. Georgia gets him.
Yeah, one of maybe the biggest arm in the 2021 class that we know of right now. Again, Oklahoma only offered 121 quarterback when they did, and it was to Brock Vandagriff, a kid from the Athens area, and they said, listen, we're not going to offer another quarterback until you make a decision. He was their guy. Lincoln Riley, as we know, can develop quarterbacks, with the best of them. So, he was their guy, committed to Oklahoma, decommitted. He sought location and distance as a big factor for his decommitment. So, I mean, he's got the big arm. He's not the most mobile guy, but he is athletic. He can run around when he needs to. But I tell you what, that arm is really good. I'm not ready to say it's Matt Stafford or Jacob Eason arm because those are two elite arms. But he's got that arm talent, and he's just a junior. And at first, he didn't have a ton of talent around him at Prince Avenue, kind of smaller private school, as we all know. So it's not like, he was in Harrison Bailey's position, throwing to guys like Eric Gilbert and, all those weapons out there. So the numbers probably won't wow anyone. But I've seen him at camps multiple times, and he was just the best guy there, the best quarterback every time I've seen him. And there's a reason he's a five-star. You're right. The kid has elite arm talent, and Georgia's been after him for a long, long time. And once things opened up after he decommitted from Oklahoma, it felt like Georgia's probably in the best position right now to land him, and obviously they did.
So now you've got Carson Beck's on. So just to review the situation at Georgia, right now you have 4 scholarship quarterbacks. Newman, been in order of eligibility. Newman, who will not be there when Vandergriff gets there, and then you got Bennett, Mathis, and Beck. And then behind Vandergriff, you still have other guys in the 2022 class. There's always other guys, but the interesting thing here is, Vandergriff will come into Georgia and it will be new, and we don't know how much Carson will play in 2020, but he will have a year of development over Vandergriff. It does set up for a real battle royale in 2021 if Beck is not the starting quarterback in 2020.
Well, they're very similar types of quarterbacks too. I think they're both around.
I would say Carson's more athletic, but yes, I think you're right.
Yeah, they both have some athleticism to them, but it's all about the arm for both of those guys. They've kind of have the same type of stature. I think Carson's a little taller, maybe a little heavier, but same style of quarterbacks. You're right, both with some athleticism to them. But I tell you what, it might be Stetson Bennett's 6th or 7th year at Georgia by the time Brock rolls around. So I guess you can't really throw him out there just yet. If he's still around, he's going to make it interesting, I guess. But with Todd Monken there, who knows how long he'll be there. We know he'll be on the staff for the 2020 season, but that guy could leave after 1 year. I mean, we don't really know. But if you're Brock, you got to Monken being there and the ability to throw it out more than a lot of these recent Georgia quarterbacks have been able to do in the past.
Well, it's curious to see. It's always hard to pick the future and know what the future will be. I mean, it's just basically impossible. And the thing about it is that if you're a quarterback in Athens, I'm going to call Oconee County Athens, and you live around that and so forth. I mean, Max Johnson was not super pursued by Georgia, would you say? You want to recap that real quick?
Offered, not pursued. I like the way you said that there. Kept in touch with him, had him on campus, obviously local kid, but he wasn't a guy that Georgia really pushed for at all.
Yeah, so I mean, and the kid, and then he goes to the state championship game, Max. I mean, that's not exactly common at Oconee either. So you can't ever know what the future will be. But the kid from an Athens area not going to Georgia, that would be curious. Now the parents are not from Athens, I don't think, or they're not exactly Georgia people, Vandergriff. But once your kid starts going to a school, I mean, you're gonna support that school in every way possible. I mean, he just went to Oklahoma. He had been committed to Oklahoma for, How long was he there? 6 months, maybe something like that.
He committed last June, so it was in early summer, midsummer, and then he decommitted on January 1. So a solid 6-7 months.
Yeah.
He was committed to Oklahoma. But you're right. I mean, the Athens area has actually produced a lot of good quarterbacks. Just going back to Zach Mettenberger out of Oconee County too, and he obviously stayed. And again, if Max Johnson were pushed harder, we don't really know what could have happened there. But they did push for Brock Vandagriff. Didn't get him the first time. They got him now, and this is a really big deal. He's probably the better of the other two that I just mentioned that came out of that area, and right now he's ranked as the number one pro style quarterback in the country.
Yeah, and I get that. If you watch him play, he certainly is special. But the question isn't if you're. I think this is the thing about all these guys who are such high level kids. It's not your ability to throw the ball. That is a lot of it. But that just accentuates your ability to play quarterback. It means that certain things are available to you that are not available to other folks. There's a number of different ways to play quarterback, and that will be the question for Vandergriff and even Carson Beck and Jamie Newman. It's not just your physical ability and your ability to get the ball out quick or your ability to make a 15-yard out or something like that. It's can you play quarterback? Can you make free throws at the end of the game? Can you not turn it over? Can you hit backhands when you have to? Can you kill off power plays? So any other sports analogy, it's not just about tossing the ball. That is the most noticeable thing about quarterback. It's not the exclusive thing about playing quarterback. But Brock Vandergriff is a heck of a special prospect, Matt.
Coach's son. Want to throw that out there too.
Yeah,
always good to have a coach's son playing quarterback in position. So,
well, that too, because that's another clue. I mean, this is a developed guy. He's not raw.
Yeah,
he's not a raw player.
But
that's it. That's right. You're not going to comment on
that. No, I mean I was going to say the same thing you did, but no, this is a big deal. And like you said earlier, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out with Brock and Carson Beck. After the Jamie Newman season. So
the other thing too. Let me just say this too. Quarterbacks can be the Pied Pipers too, and once they're the ones that are in the boat, it's about how many guys can they drag with them, and so that will be another challenge for Brock as well.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of these offensive linemen in the state, they know who he is. They've known who he is, for a long time now.
Right.
He was in Athens. The week of whatever it's coming up, but he was recently in Athens with Amarius Mims, and he's another
the junior day,
right for the junior day, and we don't want to say can't miss prospect. We've said this for a while. There is no can't miss prospect for Georgia, but you don't want a 5-star offensive tackle from middle Georgia, Bleckley County going anywhere else. So I think Georgia does need to land him, and I think Brock is going to do his best to bring in as much talent as possible. That's what a lot of these quarterbacks do once they commit, and I think Brock's going to do the same thing moving forward.
Make sure to click and subscribe. We've got a video up top looking at some of the kids that Brock could be playing with in the future. Thanks for listening to dogpost.com here on YouTube and Instagram and all over the world. YouTube, iTunes, everywhere. Click to subscribe. We'll see you over on the website.